Finally, the Divi framework has a huge update. If you're someone who loves using Divi or you're thinking of using Divi, this video is for you because what I'm going to show you in today's video is going to change the way you design websites with Divi. All right, so let's dive in. So right now what I've done ahead of time is I've gone ahead and installed a blank Divi for install. So you can see here we have Divi here on the bottom, and let's just do a quick view of what we have here. I'm going to open this in a new tab so that you can see that I haven't, added anything here. So that's a blank WordPress website. All right, so what we're going to do now is to install the framework. So there's two ways to do this. So first of all, this is the file that you get when you purchase the Divi framework. It's called SiteKrafter and we're on version 6. So what you want to do when you download this is to double click to open it. And when you go into this folder, you're going to see these two files. So the first one is the SiteKrafter starter site. So this is ideal if you want to design a website, from scratch, and just give you a head start on, what to add, because it has your footer, it has your header, and it also has your 404 pages and those sorts of pages. So it gives you a very good foundation. But not only that, this time around, it has a child theme. And that's what I want to show you in this video. So let's go ahead and install it so I can show you how easy it is to install. So what you want to do now is to install the plugin. So you come over here to plugins and then click on add new plugin. Now, remember, you need to have Divi installed first for this to work. And in this case, it's Divi 4. All right, so I'm going to click on upload and we are now going to grab that file. So what we need here in this example is this very first one. It's a SiteKrafter starter site. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, drag and drop it here. Click on install now. Now, as I mentioned, the starter site is if you just need a head start when you start designing your websites from scratch. All right, let's go ahead and activate this. And then on the bottom here, you're going to notice that we have SK Starter Site 1.0. We're going to click on that. And then now it's time to import. So what this does is it sets your home page. It also brings in the content. If you have any widgets, it also brings in the widgets here if you need them. But at any point, if you don't need some of these features here, you can disable them. And these are the plugins that it comes with: Anti-Spam B and Fluent Snippets. And then when I scroll further down here, everything is in check, and it's also telling me I have Divi 4. All right, let's go ahead and begin import. Now remember, this is how our website looks, and then in a moment you're going to see a huge transformation. And this doesn't usually take a lot of time, but it just depends on how fast your computer is. All right, so you can see here everything checks out and everything is good. So if I now come over here and refresh this page, we should see a huge change. And look at that, boom. So now we have a footer here and we also have some basic information. So at this point you're thinking, well, what's so special about this? Well, let me show you what is really special here. So we're going to start off with this page here. We're going to go ahead and click on Enable Visual Builder. And by the way, this is Divi 4. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go in and notice that I'm not going to go into the design tab here. Everything is going to be done using classes. So right now I can see I need to add some spacing here. So I'm going to come over here and what I'm going to type in here is margin top, margin dash top. And you can decide whether it's small or medium or large. So if we go for large, this is what happens. Okay, so I want to go ahead and save. Now, the really cool thing about this as well is, let's say I want to add another section. So I can just click on this plus button, regular section. Okay, so this time we are going to go with, single column. Okay, and we are going to add some text in here like that. All right, so there's the text module. So there's a few things here that I want you to take a look at. So first of all, I'm going to go into my section settings here. And because this one here is white, I want to make this section lighter. So I'm just going to come over here and say light. You see that the color has just been added. It's a light gray. Now, if I want to make it a bit darker, I can just say lighter over here. And notice now it's gone lighter. Or let me just do that. It's light. Okay, great. So now that I have this, I can also specify what size I want. So I want this to be a large section. So I'm going to say large dash section. Like that. Do you notice that now I have padding in there? Now, this is just not normal padding. This padding is very, very special because when you use this padding, it just it's just fluid and responsive. Now let's talk about one of the major things about the SiteKrafter framework. Now you see this text right here. If you were designing the old school way, you would need to go into design, go into text, and then start adding a bunch of numbers here. So first of all, you'd say, okay, this must be 16 pixels. And then you'd come over here and say, okay, for tablet, I want to make sure that it's 14 pixels. And then you come over here, perhaps maybe 10 pixels. Now with this framework, you don't need to do that at all. Now let me show you how cool this is. So we have our text here. All you have to do is to come over here to advanced, CSS ID and classes. And then all we need to do is to enter SK. Okay. Now it has slightly gone bigger, but there's a lot of information behind this. Let me just show you what I mean. So first of all, I want this to be global across the whole website. So I'll just go ahead and come over here, create new preset from current styles. And I'm just going to call this main text. Okay, I'm just going to call this main dash text. But of course you can name this whatever you want. And I'm going to apply this as a default preset. Now I want you to notice what happens here when I say save and I say yes. Do you see that? That just bumped up the size. Okay, great. So let's say now I want to go in and add some headings. So whatever you are going to be adding in here, okay, that's your heading 1. And maybe for this, I'm going to set this to perhaps maybe heading 2. I'm going to highlight it, set this to heading 2. So let's say this is how you're designing and pretty much everything is going on okay. Here now, I'm just going to go in and add 2 columns because I want you to see how responsive this is. So this is our text. I'm going to go ahead and save this page. Right. So now that this page is saved, I'm going to go ahead and exit the Visual Builder because I want to show you something really exciting. So if I make this smaller, can you see what is happening to the text here? Okay, let me just grab this out of the way. All right. And also I have a few screens here, which we don't need. Anyways. So I want you to pay attention to the size of this font. Do you see how slowly it is getting smaller and smaller and smaller? Do you see that? And also, if you look at our section, it's also getting bigger and bigger as my screen gets bigger and the text gets smaller. So this is called a fluid responsive text. You do not need to go in and set this text in the builder itself, which is a huge time saver. And besides, think about it. If you were to go in, let's go ahead and enable our Visual Builder here. So I'm going to go ahead back and click on enable. If you were to go in and set sizes every time you want to set your fonts, it's going to be crazy. Look at this. So if I come over here to my heading, I would need to go in to heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, set all my sizes. And now when I set my sizes, the question now is it EMs? Is it VH? Is it pixels? And why this over the other? Now with this method, you don't need to change anything. I mean, everything is all set for you. So as you're building this, there's so many things you can do. So let's add another text module here. So let's say I want to add a notice. In fact, you know what? Do you notice that when I add this, everything is so close together? This is by design because this allows you to add spacing that is consistent and that looks the same across the whole website. So let's go with, okay, I'm going to keep my SK and then I'm going to say margin top, margin dash top. And this time I'm going to set this to small, but there are instances where you may want this large. So it just depends. Now this ensures consistency across the whole website. Okay, now let me show you something. Now with this selected, if I want to make this a notice, I can just quickly come over here and say notice like that. And notice what happens. That's my notice. I can also go in and set this to a warning. So if I want to add a warning on my site, there we go. Okay, and maybe it's a success message. I can just say success like that. And pretty much it is very, very easy to set up. All right, so let me show you something else that's also very important. So I'm just going to delete this and then start again. So we're going to go with a single column. So over here, we're also going to add some text. Notice that when I add this text, I mean, it's just spanning across the whole site here. This is not very good in design. So there's also another class in here, which is very important. So what it's called is SK-content like that. So when you do this, you notice now that, the paragraph is now smaller. And then when you come over here to design, you can pretty much adjust the size by going to sizing. And in fact, you don't even need to use this. You can just center it. And now everything is centered, and it is now much easier to, to read. And I can also add an image here if I wanted to, like that. And there we go. We have our image. Now I'm going to add this image and, perhaps maybe add it to the top. But what I'm going to do quickly is to add an actual image. I think I have one in my library, and sure enough, I do. So we're going to go with, do we go with this one? Okay, let's go with that one. So you can see here, my image is in place. I can save this. And while I'm on this image item here, I can actually go in and add my margin top. So I'm going to say margin dash top. And this is going to be medium, like that. You see that? Pretty cool. Okay, so you're probably wondering, where am I getting all these commands that I'm typing here? Well, there is a page here, and I'll show you where it is. I'm going to come over here to pages, and this page is called a framework. I'm going to open this in a new tab like that. And you can see here, these are all the commands. So remember, I was entering SK. That is my fluid text, SK. The paragraph text, that's SK content. We can add uppercase, lowercase, left, right. There's a lot in here. Look at that. We also have general fluid text. And this is when you type in extra small and so on. In fact, let me just show you quickly how that works. So if I copy that, and this is something that you may want to do in the beginning. So if I come in here, go to advanced, and then I just go in and paste that, you notice that my text has gone small. Now, while it's small, I can also say bold, and then look at that. It's just gone bold. But this way of designing is much easier. It's much faster, and it is very, very easy to, using this method. All right. So again, let's delete this, and I'm going to show you even more commands. So this time around, I'm going to go in and add 3 elements. So this is going to be 3 blurbs. So I'm going to search for my blurb and select it like that. And then I'm just going to change one item here, which is just adding the icon. So I'm going to go with perhaps maybe this icon, just change the size a little bit by coming over here. Okay, so let's say that's the size. And then for the text, I may also need to just center it. So let's go ahead and center it. Okay, great. So now that I have this, the first thing you want to do is to obviously make this fluid. So what you want to do is to come over here, CSS ID and classes, add your K. Look at that. Now it's the right size, and I'm just going to duplicate this a few times. Okay. So let's say you want these side by side equally. You can just come over here to this gear icon. You click on this one right here, go to advanced, and then over here on CSS ID and classes, all you need to do is to type Flexbox. Now look at that. So you haven't, spent a lot of time messing about with code. Pretty much this is ready for you to go. So let's exit the visual builder, and I'm going to show you as well how this is really, really, really cool. Look at that. So this is responsive, and also, it knows screen it's on and it readjusts itself. Look at that. Boom. So can you see how easy it is to design websites really, really fast with this? Okay, it is very, very exciting. All right. So this example that I've just shown you is installing SiteKrafter on Divi 4 as a framework and also as a starter site. And I just want to show you quickly where our child theme is. I'm going to come over here. If I go to themes, you're now going to notice that we have SiteKrafter. Look at that. So here's our Divi theme. Here's SiteKrafter. Okay, fantastic. So let's say you want to add this onto a brand new website. So let me show you how to do that. So I'm just going to close out of here. So the tool I'm going to use is called ZipWP. And we are just going to go in quickly and install Divi 5. So let's log in, staging sites. Okay, so I'm going to create a new site, a blank site, and I'm going to call this Divi 5. Okay, like that. Create site. I'm going to go in and log in. So all I need to do now is to install Divi 5. So I'm going to come over here to themes, add new theme, upload theme, and I know I've downloaded it already, so I just need to look for it, and here it is. Double click on Divi 5 and then click on install now. Great. I'm going to go ahead and activate. Right. So now that we have Divi 5, let's head over now to appearance and themes. So You can see here we have the latest Divi 5. So let's say in this case, you just want to use the framework and you're going to build everything else from scratch. Well, all you need to do is to click on add new theme, upload theme. Now remember that folder that has 2 files. Let me just bring it here so you can see it. So this is now SiteKrafter Pro. Okay, so this is the starter site and this is SiteKrafter Pro version 6. Just drag and drop it here. Click on install, and this now is going to install the child theme with all these features that I was just showing you. So this is a very good start. You can see here it's activated. So if I now go to any page, let's just click on new page, and we are just going to call this test. And then this time, as you can see, the interface is now changed. This is now Divi 5. All right, so let's start off with 2 columns here. So in here, we're going to add some text like that. And now you notice that our text here needs to go in and get adjusted, because this pretty much just gives you the framework. All right, so I'm going to go in now into advanced ID and classes, and just like how we did before, if you add SK, this now has updated our text, and I can also come over here and set it as a preset. So I'm going to say new preset from current styles, and then I'm just going to call this main text, or you can call this main fluid text. Okay, main fluid text like that. And then you want to apply this as a default and then save preset. So once you've done that, I mean, all your classes, are going to start working. So I'm going to go in here, and if I go to advanced, I can go to my class here and say warning, just to see if it's working. And sure enough, it is. Then I could come over here and let me add a bit of text, but this time I'm just going to grab some text from lorem ipsum. So I'm going to copy that, and over here we're going to go in and search for our text module, and let's say I go in and paste it. I can set this to heading 1, for example, and you can see now it is bold. But what you want to do at this stage, since you are starting from scratch and all you have here is the framework, you want to go in now and make sure you set all your fonts and all your colors. Now this is definitely a much better way of using the framework if you want to use it on an existing website, or you want to use this on Divi starter sites. The framework is just going to carry around, and you can just replace all that code that we have in there with this code. So this is going to make it very, very easy to optimize your websites. It's now in a child theme, which is brilliant. So there is something else that I also need to explain, which is very important. It has taken me quite a while for me to get to this point, and for those of you that purchased SiteKrafter, you know that it has been a headache copying some code there, pasting it here, and even the updates were all over the place. So this time, everything is going to be working as it's supposed to, and now I have the opportunity to start creating my own starter sites, which are based on this foundation, which is the Divi framework. Now, there's a lot of features that are going to be coming out. I mean, every time I come up with some ideas, or even if you have some ideas, you can share them in the community, and I'll do my best to add them onto a version of SiteKrafter. I mean, it is fantastic. Now, for those of you who are not members of Divi University, head over to Divi University and sign up for the membership. You can see here, this is a community. It's absolutely free. So all you need to do is to click here to join now. Enter your name and email, and you'll be added to the community. Okay. So here is a sneak peek. You can see here yesterday, I was doing a sneak peek of SiteKrafter. You can see it right there. And of course, in this video, I've just released that. So we share a lot of tutorials. There's also a lot of discussions that happen here. So go ahead and sign up for Divi University. Now, finally, if you head over here to SiteKrafter, you're going to notice now that if you go to buy, we have 2 options. We have 40% off. Now, I'm giving this lifetime deal because obviously this is me at the beginning of SiteKrafter. Now, once everything is now set and everything is running okay, the prices are going to go up, and I'm going to be taking away the lifetime membership. So at the moment, the lifetime membership has huge benefits. You are going to get access to SiteKrafter 100% on unlimited websites, and this is going to be lifetime. And not only that, you also get the SiteKrafter community access, which means it's a specialized community. Now, any updates that come within SiteKrafter, you're going to have access to them, So pretty much any product that you can ever think of that's going to be created on Divi University and SiteKrafter, you are going to get it absolutely free because you've purchased SiteKrafter. So it's not just the lifetime for only SiteKrafter. You're going to get lifetime to pretty much everything that I'm going to be creating even in the future. So this is a huge offer. So you're going to design this on unlimited websites. We are also going to be doing some masterclasses. Right now, it may seem like things are a bit slow. It's because we're just waiting for Divi 5 to launch Flexbox and also these presets. So once those two are out, you're going to see a lot of layouts, which I'll be sharing. I mean, the Divi UI kit is on its way. That is definitely a product that you're going to really, really love because it's going to make the designing of process even easier because these are all sections pre-designed for you, which you can use as you're designing your website as a freelancer or even on your own websites. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments box below. I'll be sending this latest version in the community. I'll also be sending it via email. So go ahead and check it out and let me know what you think. I would like to hear some feedback as well. Let me know what you think and let's share some ideas. Until next time, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.